And we are back with another episode of Two Coaches, One Grizz. And we got a lot of smiles here. It's going to be a jam-packed day. We got a lot to talk about, especially for us fans. Our boys back, all right? Especially with some, college football playoff is set and, some muddy waters in the NFL playoff picture. But let's get it rolling, fellas. How we doing tonight?
Oh, fantastic! As a Hurricane fan, it's a good week. It's a good day. The future is bright. What did you say, Grizz?
It's a day that will live in infamy. The day we brought back my namesake, my idol. Things like this I wait for all my life. Things that I want, and I never get them. And today I got them. And it doesn't matter what happens, even though I know what will happen. But we got our man. I'm not going to say it yet. But we're back.
Are you saying the U's back, sir?
I didn't say the U. I just said we're back.
We are back.
We're gonna put that U into the center stage the next few years, and then I'm gonna say we're back with the U.
I hear
but
you.
Go, Frankie.
No, so look, I'm super excited as well. I know that Coach over here had a little bit of skepticism, and it was warranted. You know what I'm saying?
I had a lot of skepticism.
And
I'm not gonna lie.
Listen, Gil was the man who made sure the ship didn't just go away. He's the realist, and I believe in realistic shit. I believe in that. I'm a hopeful person. My man Gil here has seen enough, known enough to be like, hey, I know this game.
Calm down.
Relax.
Let's wait till he signs on the dotted line.
And I'm going to agree. I mean, come on, man. Does this university break the bank for anybody? Has that happened before? No. So I was completely skeptical, but I was hopeful. We have a buddy in our chat that was a little extra hopeful. Shout out to Josh. But we're gonna let let it be known. We got our guy. It didn't matter. We paid the money. We got rid of another guy. We're paying someone else's guy. This university says we're doing it, and I'm like, I'm floored. There's a 180.
$24 million is a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
But
and I never expected them to come out of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I really did not.
So let's preface that a little bit. We've had this conversation several times, in our chat and our group and whatnot. It's is not one of those universities where it's endemic to the culture, right? Like it doesn't break their bottom line if or the football team, the football program is 500 or mediocre, because the kids that go there, the alums, most of the people that come down here, they're coming down for a 4-year vacation, right? To have the Miami quote-unquote experience. These are snowbird trust fund babies.
We talked about all this a few weeks back. We discussed the culture. We discussed a lot of different factors that go into the program, the lack of funds or the lack of investment. Let's not say lack of funds, but lack of investment that there's been at that school. Okay? And you know what? Sadly, over the last 12 years, I would have to say, the presidency, changed hands. We had a couple of ADs that really did not steer the ship in the right direction or invested or were fully invested themselves into what we needed for the whole program, which is, again, was something else we've talked about off air, that all the programs there. Okay,
it's all the sports.
It's every sport.
Football, but.
I mentioned it the other day. Our baseball team used to be in the College World Series Final Four every friggin' year, every year, and that has not happened now for a few years. It's overall.
You said the right word, invest, and you have to invest in your program to get anything in return. So yeah, we spent $24 million, but if we build this program the way it should be, you're going to get back some of that money, and you're going to get that clout.
Great, and that's what I'm saying. Like before, right now we have, trustees and other individuals that are throwing their weight behind these decisions. Whereas before, again, if Alabama, if Ohio State, if whatever, name an elite college football program, if they have a mediocre football season, it hurts the bottom line. It hurts that endowment of that school. You go to those tailgates, and those are alums. Those are Notre Dame people. Those are Alabama people. Those are people of that program. Now with us, you go, and these are regular Miami people. They're
locals.
not necessarily alums. Right, so that's been a little bit of the situation there, because the, Mario Mesa is not getting letters of, hey, can you donate? Or will donate. You know, these other alums, these other schools do donate. It hurts the bottom line. That's part of their culture. Whereas when you apply to UM, you're thinking, oh, Miami life, right? So I think that was part of the issue there, that it wasn't hurting their bottom line. It was very blasé, if you will, towards the athletics programs. I'm happy to see the investment, but now we have to have the long-term investment going forward. Not just the day one, hey, we're going to pay these buyouts, we're going to get our guy. Now we need to continue to have that weight thrown behind the progression of the program.
Yeah, this needs to be a long-term investment.
Correct.
This can't be tomorrow we're going to go back to status quo. The thing about it is this program, these higher ups, all these people don't realize that this program was built on the football team. Nobody understands the brand of the U without the football team. Take that away, what were we before that? Nothing. The football team put this school on the map. So respect it, build it back to where it used to be. This brand will take over. Nobody, who cares if Florida is not doing good? Do I lose sleep over that? Even FSU. The nation wants the U back. Why? Because they want to hate us. I want to be hated again. I love it. Why is Notre Dame back to being good? Because everybody hates them.
Yeah, and as you allude to, I used to like to be hated. Everybody likes me now. I don't like that. Coaching football. Oh, hey, coach! Or I love when I walk into the stadium and they would like sneer at you.
Of course.
And you're walking by and you go and sit upstairs. Oh,
nobody hates mediocrity.
Those guys.
Nobody hates. They only hate people that can beat you.
Yeah.
You're only scared of people that, oh man, this team's gonna whoop our ass. We hate them. So I can't even expect. And if we haven't even talked about the fact that we can land a great athletic director from Clemson, which would be a home run. I mean, this school's doing things that a week ago I didn't think was possible.
Oh, and again, and to be honest with you, this whole crystal ball hiring and things like that, I do feel that there is one aspect of it that everything hinges on it, and it's who his OC is.
Yes. I
think that is the key to what can happen. He's got the O-line guy. He's got a bunch of other pieces. But right now, my biggest worry is who our OC/quarterback coach is, or whatever the case is, because we do have 2 or 3 young quarterbacks. Van Dyke, Garcia. We've got some studs in the stables, and I just do not want to see those guys hit the transfer portal. And you're seeing some quarterbacks and things like that right now through the college landscape are hitting the transfer portal because their coaches left. Mm-hmm.
Right. So, to touch on that, they do have Joe Brady that they're probably going to, kick around.
He's one name that's being tossed around.
Correct. He is a Miami Lakes native, so that would be big for him coming back home in his set.
We hope that's another tug at the heartstrings.
Correct. So, not saying it's going to happen because he's probably going to be, pretty coveted, pros and college included. So let's see what happens. That would be a good pickup for them. I think they need a offensive coordinator to that type of caliber. He does. He
I have
took
faith in
LSU
Mario.
to.
Mario will put the right guys around him. He's all about that. You got to get the right quality people under you. He believes that. I know that. Not gonna lie. This is why, as much as I'm not a fan, obviously, I'm not a Nick Saban lover, but I gotta respect the guy. And forget that he was at Oregon for the last couple of years. The fact that he had 4 years under Saban, I think that's the biggest key to me, because he was able to see how the sausage was made in that system. And not for nothing, that system works. And just excited, man. He puts the right people around them. What else, man? I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready to go. Put me in, coach.
It also helped that he was getting paid $500,000 as the O-line coach there.
Yeah,
so,
that helps.
But again, the experience I think they've had at Oregon, again, he brings recruiting.
He does.
Okay,
He's a great recruiter.
Which is going to be the key to, again, as usual.
You're able to poach Thibodeau from Southern California.
You got to stockpile talent.
When your Billies are better than their Joes, you know you're going to be ahead of the game 80% of the time.
We're going to have third stringers that are going to be able to start in other programs. That's what we need. So that when we lose a guy to the NFL, it's just reload, man. You just put one in and just keep it going. That's the type of stuff I'm looking for.
And that's the issue that he struggled with back to the OC situation, back over in Oregon. Mm-hmm. He did not have the right guys all the time running what they needed to run and things of that nature. So again, that to me is my concern. Mm-hmm. That's my worry. And not that he won't find them eventually, but next year is a big year. And I keep hearing a lot of people calling, talking about this as a rebuild. This is not a rebuild.
No,
it's not a rebuild at all.
Studs.
No, it's not only that.
I
Listen,
see us at 9-3.
But we went 7-5 this year. Mm-hmm. Okay, 8-2. I think last year. I think we had 8 wins last year in regular season. I mean, we came off one of the best regular seasons last year, and that's why everybody was so fired up for this year because everybody was coming back. We had the super seniors because of COVID, et cetera, et cetera. So again, it's not a rebuild. Like when he got to Oregon, he had to rebuild Oregon because the luster had been lost. Chip had been gone for a few years.
Taggart didn't help much.
No, Willie kind of got things going, but he continued and ran with it. So again, this is not a rebuild. So he does have some pressure to win in year one. Mm-hmm. So that's why, I have more concern than anything else with that.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it comes back to having hometown ties, right? Maribel, like we talked about, is the offensive line guy. They're both Columbus grads. Like their roots run deep here, And you can even see it if you looked at the press conference. You had former guys sitting down there and supporting him.
Oh, the alumni.
You haven't seen that,
of course. The alumni,
guys he's played with, guys he's coached.
Exactly.
Correct.
This is this is a homecoming,
right?
It's a homecoming, and he's again a young guy. He's not over the hill. He's not an old guy. So he's a young guy and still commands a lot of friends and a lot of acquaintances that he's built up over the years.
Right.
So,
a lot more backing on and off.
The foundation is set with him. I'm with Gil. We gotta get the right OC. We gotta get the right people under it. We don't look at next year as a rebuilding year. This is, like I said, I think with looking at that schedule, besides at Clemson and at Texas A&M, it's a decent schedule.
And talking about Clemson, Clemson,
they'll be back. They're not going anywhere.
But right now, I'm going to tell you something. Mm-hmm. And I was listening to it on the way in, and they were saying a couple things that I really agree with. Clemson's a little bit of shaking legs right now. They just lost Venables. Mm-hmm. He's gone. Okay,
he's on the way out.
He does a great job recruiting and a great job with the defense. They just lost their OC 2 years ago. Okay,
potentially losing an AD.
So again, that whole Dabo Sweeney's going to have to really come out of his shell.
Well, we're going to see how great of a coach he is
to see what happens and who he hires, who he brings in.
I still think next year they'll be good enough that'll be our toughest game besides A&M. Other than that, like I said, the schedule looks promising. We got to win games that we're not supposed to lose. Every year we lose those 2 to 3 games that we've done. Having said that, had we won a couple of those games this year, we probably don't even have this higher because Manny would have had a 10-2 team probably. But we got to win, and I think that's what this guy will bring us. Those games that we cannot lose, we're going to be in every single game. Man.
All right. The excitement runs deep. I'm sure that we're going to be, discussing this again soon, early and often. All right, we're going to roll right in here. We're going to keep it on with the playoffs, with the college football playoffs. All right, they are set after championship weekend this year with, some surprising outcomes. I didn't think that Bama was going to, light up Georgia the way that they did.
Did you hear Nick?
Did you hear
Nick? Did you guys hear Nick on his press conference?
Oh, it was a lovely quote.
It was amazing. He said, "You guys fed us rat poison."
Exactly.
It was yummy.
And this was the best rat poison you guys have ever.
Our boy Gil said it. Our boy Gil said, "Watch out. There's no place that this guy wants to be than as an underdog, because he has everything. He never gets to be an underdog
ever.
So you give him to be an underdog, and everybody says you got no chance." Oh my God, that fed right into his
everybody was writing Georgia. I was like, Georgia. It was like fantastic. Come. Come.
Yeah. You just gave them, you fed them all the motivation that they needed, all right, to have the outcome that they had. The college football playoff, right? We got the final ranking was Bama 1, Michigan 2, Georgia 3, Cincy 4. So that sets up first round semis, Bama versus Cincy, and Michigan versus Georgia in the other semifinal. Okay. Give me your thoughts here, because I in a perfect world, I would love for Cincy to, bring out the upset here, but I don't think anybody.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, that was one of the only reasons that maybe I would have liked a different 1-2 situation. But I mean, Cincinnati, as good as they can play, and they're gonna fight because Fickle does a great job, but you're giving Alabama a month to prepare.
Yeah.
Nick Saban with over 2 weeks to prepare, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So that's, for me, I think Alabama wins. Before we got on air, the Grizz mentioned that they cover. Yeah, I think 13.5, 14. I think they cover 2 touchdowns. I don't think that.
I think it's close first half. Make it like, they're up a touchdown, and then the second half they're just going to show their.
It could be.
I
don't know.
Impose their will.
I don't know. I think when they, I think the caliber and talent, it's going to show itself.
But I think that'll happen in the second half, where they probably outscore them by a couple touchdowns.
I'm going to hold out hope, okay, because they do have the best cover corner on their team in the nation right now, quote unquote. Since he does, I think it is close.
But don't forget, okay,
would you consider it the biggest upset ever?
Well, I mean, as far as I know, well,
it would be the biggest upset in the college football playoffs.
Correct,
right?
Even in the BCS,
you're still talking about a team that's undefeated. You got to respect them with a good coach. I don't think it's going to happen.
But let's go back. Let's go back a little bit now. Let's go back a week, right? You had a Georgia defense and a Georgia defensive line that had been unstoppable. Okay, that everybody said was going to shred this Alabama offensive line. Okay, what happened? They ran. They threw. They took care of it.
They imposed their will. And
Bryce Young won the Heisman in that game. Yep. Bryce Young locked himself in to be the first quarterback.
Yeah,
in Alabama to win the Heisman.
Freshman, by the way.
What you're gonna have though is you won't have that we're underdog feeling. We're gonna come with that chip. Not that that's gonna hurt them, but they're not gonna come in thinking we're, oh my God, scared of this team. They're gonna come in a little confident, and Nick Saban's gonna have to bring them down and be like, hey. Can't be too overconfident, because that's when you lose to teams like that. But
that's where I think in this game, they're going to get back and they're going to establish the run a little more just to get that O-line gelling for that next game.
Be able to run all over.
And that's exactly my point. I think that game, they'll be able to manhandle the Cincy D-line, whereas they don't have to throw the ball as much.
Correct.
They can. Then they play action hurts them, and that opens everything else up.
Right.
See, that was a concern going into Georgia, that they couldn't run the ball. Okay, and early on they struggled, but once they threw a couple passes, things opened up. It changed. Here's the reverse. Here they'll establish that running game, boom, boom, pound them, because they have the horses up front.
They have the horses up front to be able to do it.
So like I said, I just think Alabama takes care of business in that situation.
And to your point, right? Georgia giving up 7 points a game.
6.6.
Okay, 6.6. Less than a touchdown a game this whole season, right? Bama comes in, 41-24 route. And en route to that, Bryce Young goes 26 of 44 for 421 yards and 3 touchdowns. On the biggest stage of the season. Redshirt freshman probably locks up the Heisman. Participation trophy to the other 3 guys that got voted in there.
Those guys scored in the second quarter more points than any team has scored on Georgia in any game this year. Stupid.
They just met again. They played. They had, and it was great because they had a bad game against Auburn. So everybody, my God.
Well, that's the thing though. If that's the type of show, if they bring the Auburn game to Cincinnati, that's where Cincinnati is.
But again, the Auburn D-line, and that's why they have made a big deal about about Georgia, because the Auburn D-line is a solid D-line, a good defense. So they said, man, if these guys can make them struggle, the Georgia D-line will be. And again, I go back to the hog mollies up front. I go back to those D-linemen. You win and lose a game in the trenches. I don't care what level we're at. It's in the trenches.
100%.
You know,
100%.
so
Bama has hogs.
and
And at every level of football. You know?
yeah, correct. That's what I'm saying. At every level, it doesn't matter. And that's why I think that game. I'm happy for Cincinnati. I'm glad they got there. It's great. You know, finally a G5 team gets in there. That's fantastic.
I just want a good game. That way, we can have more of these. Because
now, you want a good game, you can watch the second one.
Right.
The Michigan-Georgia game should be a real good game. Now, with that being said, though, I'm going to take a step back here. And I do think that Georgia is going to come out with a chip on their shoulder now.
It's their chip now.
And they're going to win, and they're going to rout Michigan.
Oh, I don't know about that, Coach.
Okay? Listen,
Michigan
it's a 6.5. Okay, so Alabama played Georgia, right? Mm-hmm. Georgia was favored by how much against Alabama?
What, 7?
6.5?
6.5.
6.5. They play Michigan now. How much are they favored by?
6.5.
6.5. So you're going to tell me that Alabama and Michigan are on the same level?
No, of course not.
So they come down. Georgia's come down so far. Georgia's just so bad now. All of a sudden, that's why I love these knee-jerk reactions. That's why I love.
Well, I love the Twitterverse waking up the next morning and being like, "Oh, Georgia played nobody this year, right?" But the whole season, everybody's on, "Oh, maybe the best defense ever. Oh, they're unstoppable."
And that's the thing. Listen, the only team that I think could beat them is Alabama. Okay, I don't think Michigan will be able to handle those guys on both sides of the football.
That's the one I think Michigan has a really good shot.
I'm not saying they win.
That's
I'm
exactly
just saying
what I want to hear.
All right.
I'm saying that Michigan, that running game, I mean, it's
yes.
They have a head of steam as well. Like, they're playing the most confident football they've played in Harbaugh's tenure.
I mean, the fact that Alabama beat Georgia because they were the number one team and the most unbelievable team of the year, that's why they're the number one overall seed. But I could make a case Michigan should have been the number one.
Let me tell you guys, if things continue the way they're going with everybody and their mother taking Michigan, we're going to go back to what I tell you. You fade the public on the big games. And right now, 76% of the bets are taking super hot right now. Michigan. Everybody and their grandmother is taking Michigan. And guess what? I'm ready to take Georgia. I'm ready to lay the points, guys. I'm ready. I am ready.
Totally agree. Gambling-wise, that's the way to go. I'm just saying heart-wise.
Yeah, my heart's with Michigan. I understand what you're saying, and I get it, and I agree, but my heart's with Michigan.
Has the public ever been right? I mean,
they're right at times.
I think I'll give you one with Alabama, but I think I'm going to have to give myself one with Michigan. Not to mention, also, I want a Michigan-Alabama. I don't want to see a rematch with Georgia. I'm not interested in that.
You're not going to get it.
Why are you screaming?
I'm not going to get Alabama, Georgia.
I'm saying you're going to get Alabama, Georgia.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying you're not going to get Michigan.
Okay.
Well, listen, gentlemen. I mean, this is only going to get more fun because college bowl season is upon us. Starts December 17th. Okay, so we're gonna have a lot of time to parse this out. Okay, this game's not for another 3+ weeks. We're gonna have some fun with it.
Well, next week we breaking down the Gasparilla Bowl, right?
The Bahama Bowl, baby. The Bahama Bowl, baby.
Gators in the Gasparilla Bowl.
Shout out to Gomez.
Playing the mighty UCF.
This week we have a nice Army-Navy game. That should be interesting.
The last game of the football. Yes.
Okay, that's going to be interesting. That's
our Armed Forces game.
That's going to be a good game right there. And by the way, that's going to be that. I'll go ahead and go and
is that a teaser? Is that a teaser?
I'll let you know right now. I got.
It used to be Navy that would kill
but not this year, buddy.
It's switched over.
Not this year.
It usually goes in waves when whenever the team whenever they graduate their seniors. Right, that the other team has a run.
Nah, that wasn't. Navy was winning for like a decade. It didn't have to do with that.
Yeah, they were always for whatever reason, Army all of a sudden has loaded up the last 3 or 4 years. They've been doing a really good job. So, and Navy's just been bad this year. Navy's averaging 20 points a game.
They're not the old school
Navy's usually the one that you see that's
what I'm saying.
Right. Well,
the last couple of years has been the first time that I can remember Navy being bad.
How many times did you not see Navy playing Notre Dame and give me the points, give me the points, and take the point you covered?
And now we're back to the normal where Notre Dame destroys them.
Yeah. For years you could take 21 and they would lose by 17,
Did
14.
they switch coaching or stuff?
No. The thing is that for whatever reason, I don't know if offensive line wise or they've gone through a real difficult situation with that. Their quarterbacks.
They missed some people. Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, when it comes to Army and Navy, I really, the quarterbacks they're not going to throw a ton.
No, and Navy, no, but
They
when I say
offense?
when I say quarterbacks, I mean the option quarterback.
Right.
Usually you have
they
one
haven't
guy.
gotten a good one.
You have one guy that's been with you 2 or 3 years,
stud.
and the guy knows how to read, dive, run the quarterback lead, et cetera, out of that offense. They have
the good thing about when you go to Army and Navy, it's not like these guys are leaving early anywhere.
right.
You're going to have them the whole time.
Correct.
Heard. Well, listen, fellas, we're going to have a lot to talk about in the next few weeks here. It's going to be fun. I'm excited for bowl season. I think these episodes are going to be awesome coming up. So we're going to roll right through here. We'll be right back in a minute here with the next segment for some NFL talk. And we're back. We're going to jump right in here with the AFC. And it's the crowded nature of the playoff scene that we have there. We got New England, 9-4. In the AFC East, we have Baltimore 8-4. Okay, with their elite quarterback, Lamar Jackson.
Only in your eyes.
Okay, 8-4. AFC North, AFC South, we have Tennessee at 8-4, and then AFC West, we have Kansas City at 8-4, and a plethora of 7-win teams. Okay, battling for those spots in the wild card. And let's. I just want to talk about the stat line of Mac Jones here for that Monday night win. 2 for 3, 19 yards in the dub against the Buffalo Bills last night. Coach, what are your thoughts on that?
Listen, kudos to Bill Belichick and to Josh McDaniels, and again, it shows you what building the right culture does for you. Did you notice who was blocking the edge so they could run the toss? N'Keal Harry.
Yeah.
The receivers in
the
tight,
receivers were blocking.
and he's okay. That doesn't exist. Those guys want the ball. They don't block. They want. Oh, throw me the ball. I'm not gonna crack down on the end. I'm not.
You want me to hit the outside linebacker?
What? Are you crazy? Okay.
Is that a thing?
And
Coach,
here,
it's I got the shoulder.
I got
thing.
the shoulder. And let me and here you go. They won a huge game because that was a huge game.
Yeah, it was. It was big.
It's a huge game. It puts them in the driver's seat now
They
in
would
the
have been
East.
tied for first.
It puts them in the driver's seat in the East. It also puts them in a great position to, like we said a couple weeks ago, get home field advantage.
Yes.
And the road goes through Foxborough.
Crazy.
So, again, who else but Bill Belichick wins with their quarterback throwing the ball 3 times and nobody complains?
Now, I got 2 things. Yes. Did the elements kind of steer it into that type of game plan where we were playing NFL football in a freaking phone booth? Yes. I think the winds were like at between 30 and 40 miles an hour all game. Correct. And you saw the kickers kicking, and I mean the ball is literally making a 180 as it's approaching the field goal post there. However, I do want to say, wow, what a game plan. Good for them.
Josh Allen threw the ball 30 times.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, there you go. Again, they threw the ball 30. New England said, no.
And speaking of that, right, with the coaching job that they've done there, with a rookie quarterback, right, they've had to rebuild to a certain extent. There's a lot of guys that went on, COVID leave last season. So, Bill Belichick had to kind of stem the adversity there for the past year and change. But what was the argument when Brady left? Well, is the culture Brady or is it Belichick? What's going on here? Who had more to do with their success? Right now, it's not even, right? It's not the needle's not, back. It's not back to the middle yet because, Brady still won a Super Bowl in his first year with Tampa. But it's it's about 50, as close to 50-50 as it's ever been with, New England pretty much about to lock up the AFC East.
You know what?
Again.
You know what I say to that? They won 6 titles together. Am I
Yes. They went to 8 Super Bowls? 9? They went to 9 Super Bowls.
9 Super Bowls. They lost 3. They went to 9 Super Bowls, man. How about both?
No, I agree with you.
One can't do it without the other.
I'm talking about the masses.
I totally agree. I mean, I still think, I'd rather always have the player, I think, than the coach because the talent of the players, to have a Tom Brady, you got to have that. But the reason Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl last year, I mean, he goes to like the perfect situation with talent galore.
Loaded.
Talent galore. He does have a competent head coach there. It just worked out perfectly. But to deny Bill Belichick, the guy's a master, bro. The guy just gave you a master class yesterday. And what are we going to do? You know, I got a great quarterback, Tom Brady Jr., basically, that he drafted. And they go, yeah, we can't throw in this condition. What are we going to do? We're going to run the ball. What did we say the last couple of weeks? All these teams that are starting to win again and put it together, it's because they're running the ball. What did Taylor have against the Bills a couple of weeks ago? They just destroyed him running the ball. He goes, of course I'm going to run the ball in this kind of weather. Because all you need to do is get 3 to 4 yards every play, and what are you going to do? You're going to get a first down. It's just common sense. And if not, your defense is good enough to stop them. So it was a perfect game plan. I hate saying that. The Patriots are number 1 overall in the AFC. It's disgusting. It's terrible. But it's Bill Belichick. That's the answer.
7-game winning streak.
Stupid.
7-1 in conference.
Imagine that. You have to go back to New England to go. Are you kidding me?
It's insane. Now, if we're looking, I want to say
the hottest team in the NFL though is in the same division though. Imagine that. Besides the 7-game winning streak Patriots, it's the Miami Dolphins. How about that?
Okay, they are in a 5-game winning streak, but
didn't they beat your team?
Let's hold.
How about that?
Sir,
we got to play. I don't
not,
really care because I'm a big Dolphin fan, but you know,
sir,
I know reality.
I'm not going to support this slander here.
We did just beat the New York Football Giants.
We need to keep this amicable.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
They are one of the 5 teams with 6 wins, right on the outside looking in.
Dude, there's 16 teams in a conference.
Looking in.
There's 16 teams in a conference right now. The Dolphins are in number 13, right? Number 13. They're 3 games out of being number 1. This is the craziest year I've ever seen. The AFC, NFC, anything. You could go on a win streak right now and just take over. Come on. This is stupid.
Like I said, that's why
your
the
calculus
AFC
is ridiculous right now.
The AFC is, I mean, it's jam packed. Anybody can make a run, like you said, and they're in the playoffs. And here we go.
Look, AFC wise, the most interesting division.
There's only 2. There's 3 teams. There's 2 teams that are mathematically eliminated, and one that's just about there. That's the Texans are out, the Jaguars are out, and then the Jets are just like barely on life support. Everybody else has a shot.
They're out.
Can you imagine what that is? Everybody else has a shot.
No, it's insane.
That's ridiculous.
I'm interested in the AFC South division. I think that's going to shape up in the next few weeks to be what?
I think you're the only one interested in that division.
Well, between Tennessee and Indianapolis, like let's see what happens there. I mean,
I still think Tennessee wins because they have the outright.
Mario's been saying that.
They
2
have
games.
the outright lead because they swept them. Are they going to fall apart a little bit? Yeah, sure. Indianapolis is hot. Indianapolis is making the playoffs. That I know.
Yeah, but if they overtake the division, it might give them a little bit of a favorable matchup there.
That would make them probably winning the last 5 games. So they got to be on a winning streak to do that. I don't know.
And again, Tennessee's on a 2-game losing streak, so that's why I say that.
They are. That's a massive losing streak.
Incredible. All right, let's jump to the NFC. All right, let's look at that playoff picture. That's a little bit more muddied up. Dallas right now. I'm predicting that Dallas is going to, poo-poo the bed here in down the stretch.
Man, I hope so, man. Because I'm holding on to a Washington wins the East Division.
I mean, they're hot.
I hope so,
and
man.
This week is going to be a big game.
I hope so, buddy.
Oh, that's great.
I hope so. I can only ask
week.
the Lord to bring the Cowboys down.
That's the only thing that's pretty close here in terms of division races. Washington has an outside chance of overtaking them if Dallas again poo-poos the bed. Shout out to George Garcia. But everything else is kind of pretty much a lock. We got Green Bay at 9-3, we got Tampa Bay at 9-3, and then we got Arizona at 10-2.
Well,
barring a quarterback injury, they may have still been undefeated.
The Rams still have a chance. They play them again. There's a chance there for that to be taken over. But Green Bay, Tampa Bay got that locked up. I mean, I'm still, man, I'm shocked, man, that Washington has 2 games against the Cowboys in the next 3 weeks. You win those 2 games, bro. You're talking about the Washington football team, man, taking over.
Telling you, buddy.
I need Dallas swoon dive.
I need 3 games. I need 3 games to cover the wins total for the season. and then see if we can sneak in there and win the East.
Yeah, they're on a 4-game winning streak. They're playing good ball. Heineke's not bad, man.
Yeah, he's done a good job. I think they might lose this week, though. I think the Cowboys might. I think the Cowboys will step up.
You think they're gonna come in there with a chip on their shoulder?
I think so. Again,
bunched up.
Everybody's all over Washington, and it's the NFL. As soon as everybody that's it. They're done. Look, they're done that week. Yeah. So. Yeah. But no, like you just said right now, it really is top heavy. They're all the division winners, or at least or leaders, or are ahead by at least 2 games, except for the NFC West, which has the Rams right behind 2 games behind the Cardinals. That again, unless the Rams find themselves, they're gonna end up fizzing out. They really need to get back on track.
Yeah, they need to find their identity there.
Yeah, they need to figure out what to do and see if this. If their quarterback can.
And that's a good point that you bring up. It feels like they've kind of lost who they want to be, in a sense.
I mean, I honestly, hold on, guys. I didn't even realize how close. You thought the AFC was bundled up. So the last 2 people here, Washington and San Francisco, 6-6. The 15th place team is Seattle. They're 4-8, 2 back. Even your Giants still have a shot at 4-8.
Yeah, but
this is a bunched up, nice little.
No, but those guys
race.
No, but those guys have to get on a miracle run.
No, of course.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, to me, honestly, like I said, that's why it's top heavy. I don't see those teams really making a run of they're
going to be fodder to the top people.
Right, in the AFC, you do have a couple of teams that could make a couple of nice runs, and all of a sudden complicate things. You get me? You're looking at the Dolphins could end up finishing 10-7, and again, no, I'm just saying, like, if they stay hot,
exactly. Those same Giants made a playoff run after, I think, going 9-7 or something like that, and winning the Super Bowl against the almighty Patriots. So
it's a different team, a different time.
That is a different team, and that was, I thought you were bringing the fossil.
It's not Mike Glennon. It's not Mike Glennon at the quarterback position.
I get it.
Because the fossil Giants made a run.
I'm just saying, but he's coming at me hard. He's coming at me sideways, so I got to defend my guys. I got to defend my G-men, okay? So
let me tell you, bro, the New York Football Giants are the only team that I like from New York, so relax.
I'm relaxed. Are you relaxed?
Relájate. Like Maito said today in the press conference, man, necesito un coladita, man. Si no, te voy a dar con el zapato que mami te da. Con disparate.
Translation, please.
No, man, figure that out. Google that shit. We are coming from Miami, man. Come on.
I hear you. I think that locks up our NFL football talk. I mean, it's starting to shake out here. Okay, yes, there are a couple interesting dynamics here towards the bottom end of both playoff scenes, but it's pretty much locked up at the top end, right? I think we can agree there. Like the guys that we're talking about now, they're going to be there.
I think the AFC has a few question marks left to answer. Okay, I do think the NFC is taking shape, and I don't see too much changing going forwards in the NFC.
Even though they're still the top heavy, yes, they're winning their divisions, they're closing shop in the NFC. And so, once again, all these teams are separated by games. This is the most parity I've ever seen throughout the NFL in general.
You think when it all shakes out, you think that one game is going to make a huge difference? Like with that adding to the season? Or
I mean, I don't think the 17th game makes a huge difference. You get me? I mean, the only place it could make a difference is when you're taking a look at the Rams and the Cardinals that are 10-2 and 8-4.
Yeah. What's a bigger deal? The extra game or the extra playoff spot?
The extra playoff spot. I mean, obviously that's huge
because that's just bringing in another team.
And then now that only the top seed is the only one that gets to buy. So that's big.
I like that because if you're the top, you deserve it only. Yeah.
And again, and that's why I'm saying, especially with the AFC, there are teams that could slide in there, one team or two that can make a move, more so than the NFC.
When everything shakes itself out at the end, I think we'll see it'll be a top 5 team, both sides. It'll be a team we all thought at the end that makes the Super Bowl. But I'm saying the journey to get to that is going to be a lot of fun.
They're going to be who we thought they were.
They are who we thought they were.
Wait for the Chiefs to blow up, baby.
On that note, we're going to lock this up. Again, a lot more to talk about in the next few weeks as the season goes down the stretch here. And we're back and bringing it home with some college basketball coverage and Coach Gil's deep dive of the week. Give it to us.
Well, I mean, Purdue's the new number 1 team in the country.
Yes, they are.
They first time for them in the history of their program that they are number 1. Painter's finally doing a decent job with talent and athletes. He's always struggled so much to really win or do anything of that nature at that level. He's won. He's had successful seasons, but to really make things happen and be ranked number 1 or within the top 5 is something that he's always has struggled with. So finally they get that and they're looking good. It's a solid. They do have a solid team. They're gonna be there at the end. The Big Ten is in the mix, of course, and they are the cream of the crop in the Big Ten. Baylor is a strong number 2. They're right in there, still undefeated this year. That's another squad that's solid.
Yeah, and, I mean, it's a little surprising. We got Gonzaga that's dropped a couple games in the last couple weeks, right? Duke's dropped a game, UCLA, right? So it's starting, and this shuffle is going to continue, right? It's going to continue throughout the season, but it is good to have, Purdue up there, a little bit of a surprise, right? Baylor keeping on track with what they've done since last season, and as you alluded to last week as well, they may be better than what they were last year, right? They brought back pretty much everybody. Okay, so they're poised to make a run there. But, the Gonzaga thing is a little surprising, at least to me, for someone who is more of a casual fan of college basketball, to see them drop those couple games these last couple
I'm
weeks.
going to be honest with you. I'm kind of glad that they did. I've been following the Zags for years. And, man, they always breeze through everything. And they
run into a brick wall.
And then at the end of the season, you get on a bad stretch and you lose that one game, but it's in the Elite Eight.
Right.
It's in the Final Four. And boof, you're done. So I think it's good for them to, and they've played a tough schedule. Mm-hmm. They've played a real tough schedule.
I mean, their losses are against Duke and Alabama, who are top 10 teams. I mean, Gonzaga has 2 losses. They're still number 5. Right. So they've garnered respect.
For respect. Sure. And that's scheduling, right? Like that they're trying to they're trying to dispose of that perception that they have that coach just spoke.
And they still have Washington and Texas Tech left. I mean, they still got some good teams to play.
That's what Mark Few we've done. I think we've talked about it. They for the last decade they've scheduled really, really good outside of their conference because they obviously don't play in a tough conference. So
is that the Big Sky?
Huh? No, it's a West Coast conference.
The West Coast Conference.
I mean, they have BYU and St. Mary's.
And both of those teams do look
and those
pretty
teams
good this year.
Become good because of Gonzaga. They have to become good to match up.
Correct.
But my point is, they play a very good out of conference schedule that toughens them up. And like Joe said, now it's good to have some of those setbacks. So you don't come in, breezing through. They
don't come in cocky, coach.
It's just your kids. You come in, if you're undefeated, you got 1 loss, you're like, this is gonna be easy. And then you get to the NCAA tournament, one bad day, boom, you're out. So now you play with that.
And they're losing to the tougher teams.
Of course.
So again, it hardens you, gets you ready to be able to make that run in the
builds a little bit of
in the 64.
I mean, we want to stop we don't want to keep losing and stuff.
Correct.
Like but I still think they're Final Four. Come on.
Yeah, they'll be there at the end.
They have like grown ass men.
There's 3 or 4 teams though that are also looking really well, which is Houston. They've only lost 1 game.
Cougars.
The Cougars are looking solid. Arizona's still undefeated. LSU has only lost 1 game as well. And then there's Colorado State who's undefeated. We'll see. I'm sorry, LSU is undefeated. Yeah. And then there's Colorado State that's they're 40 in Ken Palm. They're 9-0. We'll see how long that lasts. Out there in the Mountain West, where usually it's only San Diego State and nobody else.
Interesting.
But this year
I like
Iowa
State. I like Iowa State a lot.
I'll tell you, the team that lost 2 games early and now is coming on strong is Illinois as well. Mm-hmm. Like I said, there's a lot of good basketball out there this year. the Grizzlies Gators lost one yesterday. They got blown out by a team that had not won a game all year.
Who's that?
The Gators, the Florida Gators, the Gomez Gators.
The Gomez Gators.
The Gomez Gators lost.
The Fighting Gomez's.
I see it more as a basketball school, personally. I do.
It was ugly yesterday against Texas Southern. Texas Southern beat them by 15. They were 0-7. They were going 0-7, and they went into Florida and they beat them. It was disgusting.
Came in there and just mopped them up, huh?
But again, it's funny because the SEC, like we've talked to you before, football is, man, they're really they're getting like 6 or 8 teams that can play some basketball.
Yeah, man, that's exciting.
I mean, it's good. We go back to what we were talking about with the athletic director of Miami. You want your colleges to be good at more than one sport and have competition at those levels, So again, the SEC's got Alabama, number 9. They're a solid team. No, LSU,
Arkansas at 12, Tennessee at 13.
No, 7 teams. In
Auburn at 18,
Kentucky,
LSU at 25.
They got 7 teams in the top 25. That's nice.
Solid.
They're becoming a real good conference as far as basketball is concerned. So it's going to be an interesting college basketball season. Soon enough, I'll start putting on some picks and giving out some information.
Can't wait.
I'm still working on
madness starts for me.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun because that is your wheelhouse, sir.
Yeah, it's been rough this beginning. It has not been good.
I'm a very casual fan.
So we'll see what happens.
So
we did take Texas Tech today +4. It's the only game we've won so far. We're 1-1. We're 1-1 today. So
I think we're gonna have to set up a live maybe cast during March Madness, maybe somewhere like at a sports book or something.
That'd be nice.
That'd be great.
That'd be nice, real nice.
That'd be interesting.
Hey man, we gotta go for the people, man. The people need to know about the dive.
We do it for the people.
For the people.
So
speaking about the dive, last week was a great weekend for us. We went 3-0 here on the pod.
Ew.
We were able to hit the UTSA Western Kentucky over. That over hit in the third quarter. What a beautiful over that was. We hit Pittsburgh -3. We hit the Utah and Oregon under. Personally, I went 5-0. I had also taken UTSA to win, and Louisiana +3 against App State. My apologies to App State, but I knew.
Sorry, Coach Ponce.
Yeah,
I know you're a listener of the show, but
I knew Napier was going to go out with a bang in that game. I concluded the regular season up over 8 units, 56% with 78, 64, and 5.
Very solid.
So yeah, that worked out real well for us. And this was the first year that I really used the algorithm.
The Gil Laura copyrighted algorithm.
We only had, in the whole season, we had four losing weeks. Out of all 13 weeks of the season, we only had 4 weeks that we lost.
Not too shabby.
And again, you're not going to win every day.
I'm proud of you,
Coach. Not.
So it went well. We, as we were talking a few minutes ago, I'm working on a numbers game here with over-unders and see how that works out. We're putting it to the test this weekend with a couple of NFL plays. The NFL has not been kind to me. That's why I really haven't been putting any.
We're gonna have to start calling this guy here. Russell Crowe, beautiful mind over here.
I might just put the picks so everybody can fade him. Because it hasn't been real good in the NFL.
If you want to make money fading, just fade.
There you go, just fade me.
No bueno, huh?
Man, even Denver. I took Denver the other day +8.5. They threw a pick 6 to lose the game.
That's 3 times that's happened to you.
Took the cover. It's like it's ridiculous. I had 3 covers this week. That was easy.
That's happened to you 3 times where you lose the play on a pick 6.
It's incredible.
Pick 6s are devastating.
So we do like Army big this weekend. I like Army at -7.5. I don't think, as much as Navy wants to play, and I know that they play with heart. I think Army's gonna beat them by about 10 points.
And Army can score too, man.
I might take a look at the team total on that one. Again, it's a 36-point under.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a very big game for Army.
I think Army should be solid in that situation there. I like them a lot to win, to cover, and maybe
I remember
a
a lot of losses to Navy. So it's time to You got to give some back.
I think if Army has a chance, they put it on them, and they put it on them saucy.
Of course.
No, for sure.
It's a friendly rivalry.
Is it though? Nah, I mean it is one of the greatest rivalries we have in sports. Let's just call it what it is. I mean,
no, it is, and it's great to see our armed forces, face each other in that spot, and to see them and to be able to appreciate what they do for our country, and the sacrifices that they make.
100%.
For 3 hours, they're playing a game, but after and before, they are one team.
100%. And I've always, since I was a kid that I started following football, like I've always enjoyed that. That is the only game that is on the final season or final game of
sometimes you need something
season.
to, you look sometimes at the stars. Hey, this time of year, when you see the Army Navy game, you're like, man, Christmas is right around the corner.
Yep.
Bowl season's right around the corner. It's a nice little thing to have there as a stepping stone.
Yeah,
to know where we're going.
It's a little different when you're the kid. You're like, yes, I'm about to get some money and presents, and now you're the one that's
Los Reyes de los Magos
presents.
Los Reyes Magos, and you're the one forking out the Reyes Magos, Christmas, Santa,
Kwanzaa.
Oh, thank you,
Hanukkah.
Santa. And you're like, yeah, it's me, but it's okay. It's all forgive for this one. Listen, on a sad note, on a gambling sad note, we lost a big animal this week. Medina Spirit.
Oh wow!
Passed away 2 days ago over in Santa Anita. I only say that because, I did win some money on that horse. My girlfriend's last name is Medina, so for whatever we decided to put money on the horse because of Medina Spirit.
Special place,
and it was great. And man, it's a shame that horse is no longer with us. It was a good horse.
And it's the scumbucket trainer who kills horses left and right. Baffert, I think his name is, or something like that.
He's again, you call him a scumbucket. He's one of the best trainers in the world. He's won the Kentucky Derby. I don't know how many times over. You never bet against his horses in the Derby or in the or in the Preakness or in the Belmont. You got that guy is that guy's one of the top.
Hot take.
He's a top trainer. In horses. So, we're that's the great thing about our country. We all have our own opinions.
On that note, gentlemen, I think we're good for this episode. We're gonna close it out again, like always, listeners. All right, continue to listen, subscribe, download, follow, and once again, share. Okay,
give us feedback. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, give us feedback. Let us know what you think. Email us, message us. Twitter, Instagram, and share it with all your families and friends. Let's grow this following. We appreciate you guys listening to this point. It's been a blast for us. 2 Coaches, 1 Grizz signing out for this week.